Hello there, I'm Joey DeAngelis, and welcome to my review of Red River, the 1948 Howard Hawks Western starring John Wayne and Montgomery Clift. Now let's take a look at this package for a brief second. This is the new edition from the Criterion Collection. This is the cover. Spine on one side, back on the other spine. Now, this is a pretty big package for a few reasons. Number one, this edition obviously includes the typical Criterion booklet, but it has 2 DVDs, 2 Blu-rays because it's a dual format edition. Put that back in here. And then it also includes the book that this movie is inspired by, which has been out of print for a bit. So that's a really interesting supplement. Can't say they really include that on a lot of discs anymore. Basically, you have John Wayne, in a last ditch effort, decides to drive all of his cattle up north, but there are tensions that arise, insubordination occurs, and the once father-son like relationship between Montgomery Clift's character and John Wayne's character becomes strained and tense. Now, this movie, I would have to say, does make fun of the Western genre at points, or at least it uses the conventions of the Western genre and turns it on its head a bit. For example, the opening scenes in the film are of a giant, cattle drive, and you think, oh, that would usually be the last shot of a film, like a guy kissing a girl right behind the backdrop of cattle. No, it's the first shot of the film, and it really does feel quite epic. Also in that first scene, when John Wayne and the Walter Brennan character leave, the rest of that drive was killed off by Native Americans. And, this is unfortunate because John Wayne's love interest was also killed off in the process. And then we meet the young kid that would grow up to be Montgomery Clift in the movie. And it's basically the way John Wayne's character looks at the Montgomery Clift character, looks at it as like a son almost. He wants somebody to inherit all of his stuff, because he doesn't have any kids, and that's really what he wants the most. I think John Wayne is excellent in the movie. Normally you don't hear people say John Wayne is like the great method actor, but there's just certain glances and specific gestures in the way he says his dialogue that are really compelling in a way. Especially when he tells, these 3 guys, I'll kill you if you decide to leave. And and he means it too. You see it in his eyes and his face that he means this. He's gonna do it, and he does do it. Montgomery Clift is also quite good in the film. I'd never seen a film with Montgomery Clift in it before, and I really want to check out more of his work. He kind of is like a weird, James Dean, Marlon Brando hybrid, kind of, because they all came from that method actor background type of deal. But he really is a oddly attractive dude, and I was always fascinated by his face whenever he's on screen. But he also kind of encapsulates his fear that the John Wayne character, Dunson, is going to kill him. Because the Montgomery Clift character just kind of took the cattle and the workers and went away to another area. But my favorite scene of the film is actually where John Wayne is sitting down with Joanne Dru, and he's looking at this woman they kind of hint the romantic relationship between her and Montgomery Clift's character, and he kind of talks to her and he looks at her kind of because he kind of wants heirs, like grandchildren, so he kind of looks at her almost in a way like, let's see, can you make good babies? He doesn't say that directly, but he kind of looks at her and you almost get that impression. But it's a great scene because you really get to feel the humanity of this John Wayne character. Because other than that scene, you kind of look at him kind of as a straight up antagonist, or somebody like a Fred, almost like a Fred Dobbs from Treasure of the Sierra Madre type of character. But John Wayne's able to give his character a bit of humanity, and you know, that's the one thing I really liked about the film, is that from the 2 or 3 central performances, they're really good in the movie. Unfortunately, the ending isn't the greatest thing in the world. Now, I don't want to spoil what the ending is, but it kind of goes against what you were expecting, which is not why it's terrible, it's just, it does that, and then it doesn't do much of anything with it. Some people debate that it's a great ending because, you know, it kind of defies genre conventions, but just because you're defying something doesn't make you great. And that's why I kind of hesitate to call this a bad or good ending, because it's just there. And I don't really feel, it kind of makes the rest of the 2 hours that I watch this film, I almost question it. So, I don't know. But on the bonus features on this disc, the critics and historians kind of give like a background for this ending. Also, there's a pre-release version included on this disc. I did not see the pre-release version. I saw the theatrical version, which is shorter, and apparently was preferred by Howard Hawks. So just keep that in mind whenever you're watching Red River, that there are 2 versions in existence. Thank you for watching my review, and I'll see you guys later.